We here at the Guardians of Imagination would like to inform you that we have a brand new Patreon. We can support our cause of doing whatever it is we're doing. So, show your support. Thank you very much. Enjoy the show.
Hello, and welcome to Catganronpa, the show where we take a look at the Danganronpa game series, piece by piece. So, let's get into chapter 1, shall we?
The whole cast remains frozen in horror, scared to move or interact, until Kyoko finally breaks the tension by speaking up, her words getting everyone to finally escape this moment of shock.
Hey, someone had to do it. Why not Madam Purple over there?
And with everyone coming to their senses, the group finally decides to look over the actual rules established in the handbook.
All but one of which is surprisingly relevant down the line to the plot, so kudos in the writing for these.
The group discusses the rules, the conversation surprisingly foreshadowing a lot of events that will occur down the line.
Yeah, I'll try to limit it, but these writers are masters of subtle setup and payoff. Small, seemingly innocuous details come up in big ways down the line all the time in the series, and it's freaking great. To save on time, though, and avoid spoilers, I won't mention all of them.
But anyway, the group head off to explore, most of the cast being slightly amenable to each other, even if some come off a bit more cold and confrontational to the others, the one exception being Byakuya, who comes straight for the throat saying he'll handle this alone, trusting no one.
And if you've ever seen a slasher movie before, you know that this is a bad idea.
Byakuya's stupidity continues as his scrawny ass insults the big man Mondo, calling him Plankton! Forcing Makoto to step in to quell the conflict, only for Mondo to serve him a fresh knuckle sandwich as a thank you for the trouble.
So, being a scrawny-ass know-it-all who gets on everyone's nerves, and insulting one of the biggest, meanest guys in the class, to the point where he engages in physical violence, despite having no shown skills in hand-to-hand combat throughout the franchise? Yeah, for a guy called the ultimate affluent progeny, he's kind of an idiot with no sense of proper game theory. Huh.
After that incident, Makoto wakes up later in his assigned bedroom, investigating to find a locked bathroom and a letter on the wall explaining that water will be turned off during nighttime hours, and the doors to enter the bedrooms are unpickable. Also supplied are a toolkit for the boys and a sewing kit for the girls, as an easy way to provide murder weapons for the game at hand.
Even murder, it seems, has fallen into the sway of the gender binary. Well, it's evil no bounds!
Anyway, we searched around the room for a bit before heading out, running right into Sayaka outside.
Oh, Sayaka? Sorry, are you okay?
I'm fine. I hope you're okay. Sorry about that.
Aww, how cute. God, this game's gonna rip your heart out, and I love it.
We head off into the dining hall, getting into another convo with Sayaka, only to be introduced to a bizarre mechanic called reactions, allowing the player to take note of certain highlighted text to explore more intricate parts of a conversation.
A rather underused mechanic, surprisingly, is only really there for flavor text. One so useless that it never came back in later games. Funny, huh?
The cast later all meet up in the dining hall to discuss their findings, everyone naturally starting to question things.
Girl, you colorblind? Her hair is clearly purple, not silver. Your blaze mixed up with silver. How do you even pull that off?
Thus, everyone shares their findings from exploring the school, summarized as such. Everyone has a private room. While everyone has a lock on the door to their room, only the girls have a lock on the bathrooms inside their bedrooms. The bedrooms are also completely soundproofed. Even the harshest of screams can't escape them. Also, every window and door is sealed off. There really is no way in or out of the academy.
So, basically, in more ways than one,
We are totally fucked.
Kirigiri finally enters with a map of Hope's Peak she found, showing that indeed, the place we're in is Hope's Peak. This is not a replica or a similar location we've been transported to. This is the genuine article.
Definitely better than my high school, to say the least. You're a cat. You didn't go to high school. Exactly. It was so bad I didn't go.
Anyway, the meeting ends and we return to our rooms, Makoto seeming to investigate his supposedly locked bathroom when...
Oh my word. A little privacy?
Monokuma, now having broken into Makoto's room, explains that his bathroom door has a bit of a manufacturing issue, meaning he has to use a small little trick to get it to open properly, unlike the other doors in the facility.
Damn. I know the bathroom's a place where you deal with shit, but this is ridiculous.
After going to bed, the next morning, Makoto and Sayaka go to the gym to find a weapon for self-defense, finding a replica katana within, covered in gold leaf foil that falls off at a mere touch, taking it for self-defense, before Sayaka goes into her hopes and dreams, slowly forming her desperation to escape the school and...
Yeah, girl, keep raising those death flags. That'll certainly end well for you. Oh, who am I kidding? She's the main character being set up as a protagonist's assistant character. There's no way they'll kill her off. Right?
And with that, we enter into a section of the game called Free Time, a portion between the game's major plot points where the player can choose to do Persona-style social link events with the other members of the cast at their choosing.
And sad to say, for the most part, we'll be skipping these. While they do provide interesting insights into the characters, due to the nature of the series' premise, these characters could die at any point, cutting the player off from seeing more to their story, putting their canonicity into question. Also, due to the way they delve into the character's history and personal life, they don't really make for the best comedic potential, sadly.
After some time, Monokuma appears to the group once more during a morning meeting in the cafeteria, realizing something about this group if he truly wants them to start killing each other.
You require motivation.
Naturally, given this, the cast starts to question Monokuma's motivation. Why would he want us killing each other like this? And he gives a very unique answer.
Despair. That's all.
Danganronpa drinking game. Take a shot whenever that word comes up. You will not survive.
With that, we're off for the races, as in the audio-visual room, where awaits a disc for each of us with our name on it. Literally. As on each of these discs shows images of the cast's loved ones in quite the dire scenario.
And whoa! Way to blow your best motive right off the bat, series.
I'm not kidding. Almost every other motive given out by Monokuma in the series is for inherently selfish reasons. Sure, the actual reason people kill aren't necessarily purely selfish in this franchise, or even selfish at all. But this is probably the only real motive Monokuma hands out that everyone could potentially fall into without being a totally selfish bastard. Naturally, everyone panics, some more desperately than others from the sights they have witnessed. Mizuno, however, takes it the worst, fleeing from the room, forcing Makoto to confront her in what is a rather heartwarming scene.
Aww, they make a cute couple. I can see nothing going wrong here.
The night after, Mizuno visits us again, scared off by someone attempting to enter her locked room. To ease her mind, Makoto agrees to switch rooms with her, just for the night.
Staying in a girl's room alone instead of staying with her overnight to protect her. Red
flags here!
The next morning, everyone shows up to the cafeteria for breakfast like normal. With one exception. Mizuno.
I'm sure she's fine. Let's go in and check on her. She'll be back in Makoto's room, all safe and sound.
Jesus Christ!
Yep. Mizuno is the first to die. And with the ways in which she was set up for this story, this is quite the shock. Playing against the tropes of similar characters in mystery stories like Watson or Maya, setting her up to fulfill that partner/assistant role, only for her to be the first among the cast to bite the bullet.
This moment, right here, this is actually what hooked me first playing this years ago. Beforehand, the premise just intrigued me and made me interested in seeing where things were going. But Mizuno's death showed me that I could get something unique here, as the tropes of the genre do not apply. Everyone here is a potential victim or killer, That really shakes things up to get the audience's attention. And it only gets more interesting from here.
After passing out from the shock, Makoto wakes up in the gym, where everyone is waiting for Monokuma to make some kind of announcement.
You wake up, have a bad, interrupted breakfast, find out your crush is stabbed in your bathroom, and you have gym class? Jeez, and I thought I had bad days.
And with this, Monokuma makes his announcement, and there's only one more step to things he neglected to state earlier. The and get away with it aspect of killing another classmate to get out requires a debate among the students known as a class trial to determine who the killer is and to find out if they did indeed get away with it. If the group votes for the killer at the end, their time in the school continues and the killer is executed. But if they vote wrong, the killer goes free and everyone else in the school dies.
Jury duty too? Jeez, world, give this boy a break!
And of all people, the one to most fervently object to this newly introduced aspect of the scenario is Junko, who stomps down on Monokuma in anger.
Junko, girl, gotta learn how things work. These days, a girl stepping on you is a reward, not a punishment. Get with the times.
I invoke the mighty summon spell! Help! To me, godly spear, Gungnir!
Oh, look at that. I've been impaled.
Damn, didn't expect a 2-for-1 sale today.
Yep, not just Mizuno, but Junko and Ashima is down for the count as well. This really gets into what I was talking about, as only natural that after a main character dies, we'd assume that it would mainly focus on killing the main focused on characters for the sake of emotional value. Everyone is potentially on the chopping block here, making you care about these characters so you don't miss the opportunity you could have had to explore them before they're potentially heartlessly ripped away from you. Anyway, it turns out that due to Junko being killed with a rule violation instead of by another student, no trial will be held for her. Only Mizuno's murder. As such...
Investigation time! Here's the evidence.
The autopsy file stating the following. Time of death was around 1:30 a.m. Body was discovered in Makoto's bathroom. Cause of death, a stab wound to her abdomen. Her right wrist has also been fractured. Evidence of a struggle based on the state of the bedroom beside the crime scene. The replica sword Makoto and Saika retrieved days ago. Some of the gold coating has been removed from the blade's handle. The sheath of the sword, found separate from it in another part of the room. It's been scratched up to hell. The fact that Makoto and Saika switched rooms that night as previously established. Makoto's toolkit still unopened with a fresh seal to prove it hasn't been used. The room being remarkably clean of hair and dust. The lint roller in the corner showing signs of use to cause this. Saika's wrist slightly covered in glitter. On her left index finger is a bit of blood as well. A dying message written in blood on the wall spelling out 11037. The odd, broken nature of Makoto's bathroom door. Makoto's doorknob now being broken as well, the screws within having been removed. Makoto and Mizuno's door nameplates have been switched as well, a knife in the kitchen now being missing from the collection. He now remembering having been in the kitchen the previous night up until nighttime when the kitchen was off limits. Makoto never came to the dining hall while she was there. The school's incinerator-based trash room being only accessible via a key given to the student on trash duty who just so happened to be Hifumi Yamada. The incinerator in the trash room was left on overnight despite Hifumi claiming he remembered to turn it off. The distance between the locked-off room entrance and the incinerator is roughly 30 feet. A burnt-off piece of bloody shirt found in the incinerator. And finally, a shattered crystal ball in front of the incinerator's on switch.
Okay, everyone, let's get ready to debate!
The whole cast heads over to a mysterious red room on campus, leading to an elevator that takes us down into the trial room, a large, ornate, red chamber where everyone stands in a circle at pre-selected podiums for the sake of the debate.
And so, we finally get into the main, exciting gameplay sequences of these games. The class trial.
These are high-stakes, energized, fully voice-acted debates where the game outright forces the player to engage in its narrative for the sake of gameplay, really analyzing aspects of the case and thinking things through to break apart people's contradictions in their testimony.
And that is something I really do have to admire this series for.
Let's face it, games in many ways, even nowadays, have such a major separation between story and gameplay that there are many players who outright skip cutscenes just to get to the next action sequence or bit of gameplay, to the point where they can even contradict the tone of each other in terms of their structure.
Danganronpa doesn't allow for this.
If you're not really analyzing things and paying attention, you will not do well in the actual gameplay, and it will not go well for you here. To help illustrate what I mean, let's go into an explanation of the most common of the game's gameplay segments: non-stop debate. In these instances, select collections of evidence are set up as truth bullets, which are needed to be fired at opposing statements of contradiction to ensure that their wrong-headed ideas aren't treated as fact in the overall conversation. You need to pay attention and see which evidence pairs against which statement, or you'll take damage for getting it wrong.
As a result, though, these debates can take a while, as you'll spend quite a bit of time debunking and taking down wrong ideas, avoiding taking bad logic paths instead of just heading for the right one. While this is good in terms of character dynamics and storytelling, it doesn't make for the best recap. So, expect to be just getting cliff notes and the best parts here.
After delving into a few tangents, here's where it gets some important bits. Hina and Sakura were in the dining hall when the knife was removed from the kitchen. Both have airtight alibis, as they shared Hina's room overnight due to Hina feeling restless after the motive videos.
A boy and a girl spending the night together? It's unwholesome. But I'm a girl. You are? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Hey, just because it's girls only doesn't mean it can't be unwholesome. Stop assuming sexuality, homophobe.
However, there was one person who could have taken the knife. Mizuno herself, who the two did see walk in and out during the time the knife went missing. Naturally, this puts suspicion right back on Makoto, who needs to further the case with the realization of something else missing from the crime scene.
And this leads into the minigame that got away, because they never got it right. Hangman's Gambit.
Players in the concept trying to form a word together to properly rationalize one's thoughts into speech to best communicate an argument. But in all three mainline games of this franchise, this minigame got a complete overhaul in its mechanics and how it played, and every time, things have made it be seen as one of the worst minigames in the franchise. Anyway, the word coming to mind on what's missing from the crime scene is hair. All hair had been cleaned up from the scene.
If only someone in this cast would learn from this issue.
Boy, where's Shred Cap? Get used to it.
It slowly made clear that Makoto wasn't Mizuno's killer to the others, as the killer was not only hiding the hair in the room, but also was unaware of the issues with Makoto's door.
Regardless, it was a pointless act. Wasting time trying to break down a door that wasn't locked is...
Damn, talk about a killer dumbass. I think I might know who our guy is.
Oh, trying to argue against me? Sounds like someone doesn't know his place.
Skeleton, do me a favor. Also, me from last video? Pancake that motherfucker.
Garp.
Of course, I'm only into 2D, so it wouldn't have any effect on me.
Guess now you are too. Good for you.
Facts continued to be established, like how Mizuno switched the nameplates and wrote a note inviting someone to Makoto's room. The killer also broke her wrist, utilizing the replica sword Makoto had stored in the room. And it turns out that they did this in the struggle, in self-defense after Sayaka came after them with the knife.
And bombshell number 2 makes this the perfect opening case for this franchise. Not only was Sayaka the first to die after all her build-up, but also instigated the incident that caused her death in attempted murder.
Sayaka was the only familiar face to our protagonist, someone they put a lot of trust in. The girl who positioned herself as the assistant in our cast, the Maya to our Phoenix. only for her to stab us in the back metaphorically, using us as a pawn, most likely planning to blame us for her act of non-metaphorical stabbery if she succeeded.
And this shows better than any spy story out there that no one is to be fully trusted in this scenario. People have dark sides and hidden layers that can reveal themselves in the worst way. Who can you trust, after all, when the person you trusted the most tried to frame you for a murder they committed? Just damn good writing. Frick. It really shows the thought and effort put into...
You're being super boring right now. Come on, hurry up and decide who did it.
Fuck off, Bear! I'm trying to praise your series here!
What did I do?
Ugh, not you, the other bear!
What bear?
The bear from the game, Monokuma!
Oh. Guess y'all got a bear with it.
Anyway, continuing with this line of reasoning, the group finally reaches the dying message written in blood behind Sayaka. 11037. Slowly coming to realize that the 1-1 is actually an end, so there's a slight line between them. The group coming to realize who is the real killer among this class. Leon Kuwata.
Well, he already has blood in his hair. Why not his hands, too?
This is why things ended up the way they did in the incinerator as well, with Leon using his baseball talent to throw Hagakure's crystal ball at the incinerator, followed by his bloody shirt to burn evidence, not realizing some would be left behind.
Well, Leon, looks like you got burned.
This quickly leads into another minigame that is always used to end the trial, where the player has to put together comic panels to properly format the nature of the case and fully put together the scenario to recap it. These can be surprisingly relaxing and a calming way to end things at the end of a hectic nature of the trial, and they really do act as a final conclusive checkmate to end things out against our killers.
And as we all know, no better way to take down a killer than with a comic book.
And in his moment of anger and fear, Leon starts shouting in panic and objection, demanding evidence to conclusively prove Makoto's series of events, leading into our final minigame for this entry, Bullet Time Battle. These are rhythm sections where the player takes down someone at the last pegs, desperately debating nonsense to silence the conversation, ending with finally delivering the conclusive evidence necessary to end this charade.
And yes, this is a massive case of first game syndrome, as the sequels handled this aspect way better in the end.
And with everyone realizing that Leon's open toolkit would make for perfect evidence to check to conclude things if necessary, Leon is forced to admit to his crime with his silence.
And he didn't even think to kill her with a baseball bat? Frick, man, you couldn't even stick to your theme, could you?
Makoto, realizing that Monokuma's motive put Sayaka up to commit this horrible act, lunges in anger, only to be stopped by Kyoko, saving him from being punished like Junko was before the trial. Unfortunately for Leon, though, punishment is unavoidable.
And thus we get into the executions.
These are elaborate, intricately laid out cutscenes where we get to see our killers receive their execution for their crimes. And all but one of them in this series is a special kind of amazing. Not gory in the slightest, but action-packed and exciting, yet horrific in their nature at the same time. These little shorts are truly horrifying yet fun in the best way. This actually isn't the first of these executions, as right at the beginning of the game we saw one for an unknown to us at this time individual, but I skipped it then to save it for now, seeing this unknown gentleman set up to space. Only to come crashing down for the hardest landing possible.
Damn, talk about getting boned.
What fate awaits this murderous Batman? Well, for him, he gets a collar forced around his neck that drags him down a long hallway to a batting cage, where Gatling guns loaded with 1,000 baseballs bludgeon him to death.
Talk about a killer practice session.
And as everyone somberly thinks over the lives lost today, Makoto saddened thinking of Mizuno's betrayal and death, Kyoko reassures him that Mizuno most likely regretted her choice, as by leaving the dying message, she saved his life, truly showing she cared in her last moments, reassuring Makoto with the will to go on and carry her memory with him as we end the chapter.
This chapter is amazing, and it only gets better from here.
Yes, this is without a doubt the easiest murder to solve in the whole series. I mean, they literally spell it out. But I think there's quite a few balancing factors that make it work, especially given that you, the player, are a lead suspect throughout most of the case, thus meaning you really need to make your case strong to get suspicion off you. But regardless, it really makes up for it in the other areas of the writing, from messing with the tropes of the genre to put players through an emotional gut punch, to the feelings of hurt and betrayal that really change how you see this cast dynamic. This is probably the best first case in any murder mystery game as a result, as it really works off of the game's themes well to give us a mystery that, while easy to solve, is heartbreaking all the same, and truly gets you pumped to see what the rest of this game has in store.
Join us next time for, Chapter 2. One of the most controversial cases in the whole series as I explore the unique nature of it and details surrounding it that might actually make it not as bad as many may think. See you later, students.
Any luck?
None. No matter what we try, we can't find our base anywhere. We have no way to find him. Perhaps we don't have to. What did you have in mind, Cat? Well, given our guardian powers are tied to Disneyland Park lore, I thought about looking through whatever I could find that might help us out here, and it made me think back to a certain aspect of one of the rides that may help us. Really? Which one? Jungle Cruise. The way things move around the world.
Yeah, it goes through Africa, Brazil, and India, right?
To me, that sounds like teleportation.
Holy crap.
You think you can pull that off, Nami?
Unsure. But I should at least try.
Well, I'm willing to try anything at this point. Just, Nami, conceptualize utilizing your abilities to appear next to Tendo.
Please! Please stop this!
Let me make this clear to you, Seal. The only way this ends is with me as the new Guardian of Tomorrow. Not even death will be an escape for you. As if I let you die, the pin will disappear and find a new holder elsewhere. I can't have that. Perhaps something more permanent is in order at this point. A simple crush of this flipper of yours may finally make you a bit more willing to work with me.
Please stop!
Get away from my friend, you bitch!
What the?
What are you doing here?
Saving you. Come on, Tendo. Let's go home.
Tendo, you're safe!
I am so happy to see you safe and sound, Tendo.
Whoa, Cat, it's okay, it's okay. Nami, thank you. You have no idea how much this means to me.
Well, I know you do the same for me.
Madam, are you okay? What's going on?
Simple, Hydra. This little game just got a lot more interesting. Get the machines together. Time to show the Seal's friends how outmatched they really are.